Alright, first thing we did here, 10mm socket. Just taking off the bolts right across the front of the bumper. Alright guys, I got a little ahead of myself, but listen, once all the screws, all the plastic pieces are off, just reach back, pull it. Alright, these are just held in by little poppers, no big deal. Comes off pretty simple. And you'll follow it all the way around. I won't do it all the way so I can hold the bumper, but you can essentially pry it off at this point with your hands all the way around. Okay, and I'll show you in a minute. We gotta disconnect lights. Alright, so actually, take a step back, I found it's easier to go from underneath since we disconnected that plastic frame underneath here. Right, pull this out of the way, just reach up, disconnect your light cable. Okay guys, so back at it again. Bumper was removed. There were 4 hex. So far I'm going back and forth reading the instructions, and they're very straightforward. So here's the bumper, or the bumper support, something like that it's called, I don't know. Okay, and then the instructions say use the same hex bolts that we took off. Next thing, I'm going to install these. Took a second to try to figure out which one's which, and I realized they put, you can see it there, D for driver, P for passenger, so the bags don't come too marked, but that helped a lot after about 2 or 3 minutes trying to figure it out. Okay, got both of them on, not tightened down. So I noticed that when Body Armor made these, they made long slots. I assume that's for sizing it, probably when we put the piece in the middle. So I left it loose so we can slide it for space purposes. So right now I just put the bolts on just enough to hold it in place, not necessarily to lock it in. License plate bracket. So if you have a winch, I recommend you do step 10 first, which is mount this, because this mounts up in there. So I had to undo it to reapply the bolts on there. Okay, and then again, these are all the 8x20 Alright, so again, after dealing with that winch, next step, install the skid plate here onto the splash guard. Alright, real simple, 8x35. Alright, I'm back here, just did a lot of work here getting all this mounted up. I wanted to start with the winch piece here, so tried a couple different options. I tried to Put it here, didn't get much luck. The terminals here were touching. I didn't like that at all. So this is about the only open spot that I found. Ended up just tapping into it on either side with some tapping screws. Right, mounted, seems firm to me, not moving too much. So obviously your blue and yellow, that'll run down into the Badlands. I'm going to run the cables right across here and zip tie them down. And then, yeah, I just got some guys to help me out lift this. This mounted right on. So again, I spoke about earlier with the spacing, so I was good at leaving them loose and adjusting the size as needed, or the width. So I found, you know, a good spot in there, and then tightened them down. I started with them spread all the way open, and the actual bull bar didn't even touch. So I had to bring them in on either side a little bit to try to keep it centered. So when you guys go to do this, you know, don't tighten them down at first. Keep them loose, and then tighten them down once you get it properly fitted with the centerpiece here. Okay, so gotta tighten these down. Plug in the cables respectively, right? We got the yellow here, the blue here, so we'll do that. Probably hook up the power real quick just to test it out, but I'm certain it'll work just fine. Badland did a good job keeping everything real simple. The screws were color coded, the tips of them. Let's see if I can show you. So the tips, hard to tell. You'll see there, right? So it's black at the very tip of it. So that helps you remember. And then these are real good to protect it from water. So that's it. So let me tighten things down. I'll come back in a bit. All right, so I got everything. Cables ran, zip tied. I haven't connected nothing to power right now. So I'm getting underneath. I'm gonna install the 7 screws to get the plate up against the bumper. And then I think it's time for, I think what everybody gets scared of is cutting the bumper. So we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, here's our finished product now. Again with the Badland winch 5000, the body armor HiLine bumper, and then we have our spider no drill roof rack lights up front here. So when I was cutting the bumper, it got late. It was getting dark already, and wasn't getting any good videos, and I didn't have any strong lighting. So but here's the finished product. As you go through cutting it, use the Dremel. Dremel tool worked just fine with me. Okay, do it carefully. Take your time, right? It took me about 20 to 30 passes on it, trimming away slowly to get a nice close cut, tight to the bumper, right? Leaving no gaps or anything like that. Okay, all the way around. Then again, body armor provides this rubber piece. All right, it just fits over and stretches around. Okay, down here we have the Badland winch with the fair lead. Okay, I had to purchase a separate fair lead because of the measurement from the Badlands. From the body armor winch bracket. It was smaller than what came with the Badlands. So we just bought an extra one here, the Factor 55 off of Amazon. That's it. You can see the cables, you know, mostly tucked away, and you don't see anything here. Okay, added those on, provided by Body Armor as well, came with it, and that's the bottom, right where the skid plate is. Okay, all nice and tight. all the way around.